calling the Stillwater Social Security Office.
We have received reports about fraudulent phone calls from individuals impersonating SSA employees. If you suspect you have received a scam call, you should report the details of the call to the Social Security Administration Office of the Inspector General online at oig.ssa.gov. To hear information about the 2020 Cost of Living Adjustment,
Press or say 1 to continue with your call. Press or say 2 to hear. To ensure that you receive accurate and courteous service, your call may be monitored or recorded. Please listen to all options carefully. Our menu has recently changed. To hear field office hours and directions, press or say 4. To dial your party's extension, press or say 5. To speak to the next available agent, press or say 0. To hear these options again, please hold.
Security.
Yes. My name actually is Jason Hughes. I need to inquire about how it is that I can regain my payee rights.
Your payee rights.
Yes, sir.
What's the security number? And what's your date of birth?
10/23.
Place of birth?
Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
Your mother's maiden name?
Cheryl, Sherrill.
Okay. And where do you live at?
My address actually is
Okay. Now you've got a payee right now. What's the purpose of, why did you have a payee?
my mother is abusive and has been abusive to me all my life. And my mother subjected me to psychiatric abuse at a psychiatric facility, and during my subjection to the psychiatric facility, my mother and her attorney went to Logan County Courthouse and filed for guardianship and payee rights without my consent. I did not
let somebody know that we let anyone be your payee.
What?
If they have a doctor's note that says that you're not capable of taking. If you would get a letter from a doctor stating that you're capable of taking care of your own finances, you would just go into your local office. What city do you live in?
Sir, when I go to see a psychiatrist, then they want particular information so that they can get insurance money, and concisely, they want an easy paycheck. All right?
Okay. If all they have to do is state that you're capable of taking care of your own finances,
Sir?
if your doctor will state that, then we would let you be your own payee.
Sir? When it's context that I was subjected to the psychiatric facility, my mother discreetly suggested things to the psychiatrist. And then the psychiatrist wanted to talk with me, and the psychiatrist asked me if I see and hear things that others don't see and hear. And I supposed that the psychiatrist meant hallucinations, and I replied, no. And the psychiatrist wanted to admit me to the psychiatric facility for an evaluation. Are you recording this phone call?
No, sir, I'm just listening to you.
Oh, really? Because I am recording this phone call. What's your name?
Brett, B-R-E-T, Williams.
Okay. Brett Williams?
Yes, sir.
Williams. All right.
City do you live in once again?
Suggest again?
What city do you live in?
What city do I live in?
That's the question.
Okay, I already gave you my address. It's
What you do is you'll go get a statement from the doctor saying you're capable of taking care of your own benefits, and then come into the Stillwater office and apply to be your own payee.
all right. Could it be any sort of doctor?
Got to be a medical doctor that states that you're capable of taking care of your own benefits.
All right. Is that the only way that I can regain my payee rights?
That's the way we do it.
Okay, I have a particular question for you as well. Is the Social Security Administration associated with the American government? And what actually is the association of the Social Security Administration with the American government?
Well, Social Security is a federal program.
It's federal.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one of the different programs. There are several different programs that the government supports, and we're just happen to be one of them.
So if I get a job, then the Social Security Administration is somehow apprised of that, of me getting that job and gaining those financial earnings with that job.
Correct.
All right. And Social Security Administration is as well involved within contexts wherein a psychiatrist makes a claim about a person's mental capacities or a suggestion of lack thereof.
They will tell us whether someone's capable of taking care of their benefits or not.
Mm-hmm.
We don't make medical determinations. If someone is medically found to be not capable, we don't want to hand over money to someone unless they're capable, okay?
All right. Can you jot?
Says that you're capable of handling your own finances, then we would happily make you your own payee.
Sir?
We've got to have an MD make that call.
Sir?
Yes.
Would you jot down a note for me, or for yourself, that I wanted you to jot down?
No, sir. I won't take a note for you for something that you're wanting to say. You have something to say, just say it.
Oh, so you're not taking notes or anything? Not actually?
No, I'm answering a general inquiry question.
Uh-huh. What department do you work in?
Social Security Administration.
You're a generalized Social Security Administration employee.
Correct.
And they're all the same department, all the employees work within the same department within the Social Security Administration office within Stillwater?
That's correct.
Because I'm calling the Social Security Administration in Stillwater.
Correct. We have different specialties, but we have all work in the same department.
So you don't record phone calls when people call you on the phone? Not actually?
Just ask a question, no, sir.
All right. Have you heard of Facebook?
Yes.
Okay. Well, it's like within a context wherein, like, 20 years ago, there weren't even cell phones with text capabilities, not actually. 10 years ago, there really weren't there really wasn't a mainstream global social media forum, not actually. Are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just listening to you talk.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's like I'm tribal within the suggested borders of the United States of America. All right.
Tribal in what sense?
I'm half Cherokee, half Choctaw. I'm tribal. What people would call AI or American Indian.
Yeah, we're Native American.
American Indian is what they call it because the Americans suggested that the tribals were Indians because the Americans thought that they had landed in India.
Right.
All right?
So what does any of this have to do with Social Security, sir?
Well, because people are...
You can ask a specific question if you'll get a note from a doctor stating that you're capable.
Okay. You asked me... Yeah, you asked me a question and then I was going to answer. All right? About...
I don't need a history on Facebook
And you asked me a question and now you're trying to interrupt me. And the point really is, when people are talking about me, I'm going to talk about myself, bud. And I've documented me talking about myself publicly. I'm just telling you that I have social media profiles. And it's a global internet.
Right.
Okay? I was just curious if you wanted to write down my Facebook profile URL. Just for a note because I told you my name. Did you write that down? Who you were talking to?
I've got it right here in front of me, sir. I pulled your social up and I've got your address, your earnings history, where you were born, when you were born.
Is there a section in that? Is there a section in there for comments? Because, yeah?
Sir, I don't need your URL on Facebook.
Well, that's sort of the only thing. That's the only comment that I would want you to add to my profile, because that's me talking about me, bud.
Okay, you're talking about you, but that doesn't have anything to do with the question you asked me.
Which question specifically?
What you could do to become your own payee.
Well, that actually does have a significant and poignant context of me earning my rights, me regaining my rights, bud, because I need my payee rights in order to live my life. Are you going to interrupt me again? Because I was talking.
I am, because all I need to do, I answered your question, okay?
All right.
You'll pick a note from your doctor stating that you're capable. Will make you your own payee.
So you're suggesting that I have to return to the psychiatric abuse industry and cope with the abusers in order to get out of the abusive situation. That's what you're suggesting.
No, sir.
That's what you're implying?
You're trying to change what I said. I said get a note from a doctor stating that you're capable.
And the psychiatrists are the abusive people.
I say psychiatrist, not one.
Doctor? A doctor?
A medical doctor.
A medical doctor.
That you're capable of taking care of your own benefit.
All right. So, if it weren't a psychiatrist that were collecting an insurance claim on me, not actually, then I'd need to actually pay a doctor out of pocket. An abusive mother has my payee rights and is abusive. That's sort of the reality of the situation. So you're going to offer up suggestion that I just go get a note of a doctor, a medical doctor. And if it weren't an abusive psychiatrist that suggests himself a medical doctor, not actually, then it would need to actually be a medical doctor that I paid for out of pocket, while an abusive mother has my payee rights.
Or do you pay your Medicare premium premiums? Is your Medicare paid for?
My abusive mother has guardianship of me as well,
Okay.
and calls you and wants all of that sent to her.
Well, right now, she is your payee.
All
I
right,
had got something from a doctor stating that you weren't capable of taking care of benefits.
all right.
In order for us to make her your payee.
Could you do something for me?
Something
My abusive
for you.
my abusive mother turned off my internet, and within a consideration of legalities, an internet connection actually is legally considered a basic human right. And I would need an award letter of Social Security Administration in order to get Lifeline internet service of the local area ISP, internet service provider.
I know what an ISP is.
Okay, I would need an award letter for that, sir.
I can only send one to your mother. She's your payee.
You can, what?
I can send one to your mother. She is your payee. She's the one
So
we hold responsible for your benefits and records.
you can't send an award letter to me? Not actually?
That's correct. That's correct.
Uh-huh. Well, thanks for answering my questions.
Hey, no problem. Let's get it there. Let's get this letter and we'll take care of you.
Huh.
Anything else, sir?
That's about all. Goodbye.
Okay, well, you have a good day. Goodbye.
Oh, yeah, huh.